Hi guys, I'll be your trainer for this 15 days long of Flutter session. After that, we'll be posting you a project which you can implement on the other 15 days, and we'll be having multiple set of rounds to check with your project, to work on your project and groom your ideas to update it. Okay, so a brief introduction about myself. I'm Gokul. I'm an ex-Amazonian and now currently working in Cisco as an ML engineer. I have been developing Android apps from the most period of my college, and now I'm into teaching Flutter for people who who can actually use their skills, design and every skills to develop Android and iOS applications. Okay, why to start with Flutter? What is Flutter? Flutter is basically developed by Google. Flutter is actually UI toolkit. So, say suppose it is an package of uh, multiple mobile, web, and every constraints into it, which can be bounded together, and that is used in Android as well as iOS app development. So why do we use Flutter? There are multiple languages like Kotlin, Java. Why do we use Flutter? Say I know Java, but I can only apply to Android applications. Say I wanted to develop an iOS application. If I know Java, I wanted to learn Swift and then go with the development of iOS application. But that is not possible, right? One person learning multiple things makes more clumsier. So what is the problem we are solving here? Flutter actually solves the problem of developing both the applications, that is Android as well as iOS application, in the same toolkit. We are going to use Dart programming language that is much more simpler, like HTML and some kind of functions to it. Maybe JavaScript and HTML will combine together. It is a programming language which is easy to implement, and then it is why Flutter is getting more popular now. The companies that are using Flutter are obviously Google because they developed it, and these are the companies, power companies, they are using Flutter now. Say many are changing it to Flutter base. Now Flutter is also having desktop applications creation. The app is more embedded with graphical interface and everything that you can do in Flutter. Okay, everything is done. I know Flutter. I know what are the companies that are using Flutter. Why am I using Flutter? Why? As I already told you, we are going to use Dart. That is one code base for all OS. Maybe it is Android leading OS, right? Uh, there are two leading OS, as you already know, Android and iOS. For these two OS, it is the same. Dart is the same programming language which is being developed by Flutter. And the second one is also the same. Application can go beyond iOS, web, desktop, and Android. Not even Android and iOS, but also Windows desktop applications. So you have an everything in hand, right? So if you know Dart programming and Flutter, you can develop almost everything, and you can be a complete package of an iOS developer, Android developer, and web application developer. That makes you easy for developing much more applications. And as I told, the it is an layout system which has a simple and flexible, which can be used to for even a beginner to start learning what is Flutter. And say suppose I have a bootstrap in web development, how it adjusts. Uh, Suppose I have a 13-inch screen, 15-inch screen, and 5-inch screen. 13-inch and 15-inch is not uh, mobile, but it's the TV or something, or even the monitor. It can adapt to different size screens, same as that of Bootstrap. And That is one of the main functionality that we can see in Flutter. And this, after all the functionalities, this for me as a developer is the first topmost advantage that I'm using. It is the hot reload. If someone is already into app development, you might get this point. Okay, so what are the problems that you're facing now without Flutter is I wanted to learn Java. I'm implementing Java to run the Android code. When I open an emulator is a replica of your phone in your computer. When I try to run my emulator, it actually runs quite a lot of time. Okay, the and after starting the emulator, you need to run your code, right? Which is an emulator. You'll try to run the code. It takes lot of time for you to run the code in emulator, and post that you'll be changing few codes according to your output, and then you'll be running it, right? At the same time, this code actually goes to tougher times when you have to rerun it again. It will take the same amount of time for you to run. But that is being avoided in Flutter. What you'll see is you will run the application. After running the application, if you change it and click on Control Save, you can actually see the results in your screen. I'll show it in the session. And as you all know, it is an open source code which is being developed by Google. You can change anything and everything in this. You can change the expanded box, you can change the floater box, and everything you can change in Flutter package. Okay. Now, okay, I know what is Flutter and why my Flutter is being used. How is this implemented? How is this anatomy of Flutter, anatomy of Dart language? As I already told you, Flutter is basically a parent-child combination of development. Dart is a parent-child combination of development. See, I have a scaffold. Scaffold is the entire thing. In this scaffold, I have an app bar. This is the app bar, and this is the container. So, scaffold is the parent, and app bar and container are the child. Inside the container, I'm going to put a column of rows and a text. So you can easily understand from this, like this is an parent child like structure. So it makes it even more easier for you to learn what is Flutter. Mostly we'll cover all the anatomy with uh, a parent-child combination in Flutter. And it is easy also for you to develop an architecture using if you are using that, because it is same like that of parent-child. Now I'll show you how do we use. This will be my Flutter. Okay, one application now. I'll open my Dice application. Okay, to be briefing, this is Android Studio. Android Studio is nothing but the Android Studio is nothing but it's the IDE that we have. And after that, what is IDE? IDE is Integrated Development Environment. This is where I type my code and run it. So this is IDE, and here it will be my emulator. I told you, right, the replica of your mobile. So I have my Flutter phone, resolution of 180 here. So you can actually go and add any devices in the AVD manager. Now if I click on start, I have my phone in place. Now what I'll do, this is a simple dice application that I've created. This will also learn to for it. Okay. Now we'll also create multiple of applications in this 15 days of course, like what is you'll be creating in this sessions of like 2 day sessions, right? After today's session, we'll be creating a simple application, and then after that, an application connected with the DB, and post that will be giving you daily task for you to learn Flutter to create an uh, uh, products like Amazon, Flipkart. You can also create an e-commerce application, and who knows, you also might be developing a $1 million application after developing your even if your things are good and your designing skills are good, you can develop an $1 million application. So I wanted you guys to have an idea in your mind to create an application, not so easy application, and make you to learn this for 15 days, and after those 15 days you'll be just trying to implement your idea. I'll be guiding you towards that idea. So it's my dice application has opened. So this is my simple dice application which can change this. Being it a simple application, I'll show the advantage of hot reload. So here if you see, this is dice. Now I'll give dice, control save, and then type for some time. See, it has reloaded. See, now it has changed. So now I'll give application. See, it is changing within a matter of second. This is the hot reload option that we have. And okay, now we'll go to the presentation. Now we are done with the anatomy. And what are the prerequisites? You can actually you can use Android Studio. Flutter SDK is important, which you can download it from the website. I'll show you. So this is the place where you download Flutter SDK. Okay, now you will get started. Here, according to your OS, you click on Windows and you will download this SDK and save it in C. So this will be my box, and I'll give it to Flutter. You will be having all those packages. Say I have it in SRC as well. You can give source Flutter. Here I'll go to bin. I have Flutter, so I'll click on it. Now it will work. Okay. Now it has run. So after that, I'll open command prompt. I'll say help me. Okay. So Flutter Doctor will show me the available commands in this. So I have given the wrong top. Flutter. It will check your channel and see what is there in your system. So you have installed Flutter in your machine. Okay, there is no issue found, and you are easy to go with your development process. I have Android toolchain, Android Studio, and Android connected devices, one available. So now you wanted to go with Android Studio. You can download Android Studio. You can download Android Studio from here, and you can download VS Code as well. This one, Visual Studio Code. Everything is good, but I recommend you guys to go with Android Studio. But this is being used in many of the fields. You can download Android Studio and try. Post that, you can actually try to create an Android application which has Flutter. So to create Android application by using Flutter, you'll go to File, New, New Flutter project. If you click on this, it will ask for Flutter application, the project and project location, and then click on Next. You'll get the app. So project name, I'll say dummy. Click on Next. Click on Finish. Your project is created, and this is how you implement the project. Okay. Now we have installed all the software. After this, we'll be posting you daily routine of exercises. You're going to do those exercises, and at the end of 15th day, you'll be having a e-commerce application in your hand, and that is why I wanted all you guys to install this today and keep your system or anything ready so that it might be useful for you guys to learn Flutter for this 15 days. And after that, posting your ideas, and we'll be guiding you towards your idea, and you can be much more a good developer in for Flutter.